presidential candidate spoke directly to evangelical Christians, and many responded in kind. In 2024, not much has changed.
We have to bring back our religion. We have to bring back Christianity in this country.
This unholy marriage of religion and politics is the narrative of American Christian nationalism.
This video deserves a watch. Listen, this is a documentary put together by Amazing Prophecies. I'm familiar with Jared. I'm also familiar with Mark Fox. And this is powerful stuff. I think you need to take a listen to this. I'm going to share a few clips here. This documentary is talking about Christian nationalism, Sunday Law Update, Project 2025. A lot going on here. Clips, videos, thoughts, news clips, and Mark Fox coming on the screen, sharing some thoughts and ideas. Well done. Great job, Jared. Thank you for sharing this with us. There's going to be a link in the description below so you can take a listen to what is happening here. Let's first begin by asking the question, what is Christian nationalism? What are they? What do they believe? Let's hear it from some Christian nationalists as well as some critics. Let's come to an understanding of what that actually means.
How do you define Christian nationalism?
Then there was this, a psalm sing in the middle of the pandemic, protesting the local mask mandate, retweeted by then President Trump.
And the entire world, a Christian world. Over the decades, he's built an international network of more than 150 churches. And last month, he opened a new one, just 3 blocks from Capitol Hill.
I'd like to see the nation be a Christian nation. I'd like to see the world be a Christian world.
And now Wilson's controversial views as a Christian nationalist are gaining sway in the nation's center of power with the recent opening of his new church and high-profile parishioners like Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
Is planting a church in D.C. part of your mission to try to turn this into a Christian nation?
Yes. So every society is theocratic. The only question is who's theo. In a secular democracy, it would be demos, the people. In a Christian republic, it'd be Christ.
The video you saw earlier introduced Pastor Doug Wilson, a self-described Christian nationalist who openly states his goal to make the United States a Christian nation and the entire world a Christian world. So, his growing network of over 150 churches includes a new congregation just blocks from Capitol Hill, drawing notable political figures such as Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. So, Wilson's vision is not just personal belief, but a political ambition aligning with broader efforts within government to infuse public policy with a conservative Christian worldview.
So the critiques of broader Christian nationalism in Christendom have abounded. They've proliferated. I've got a mild critique. We've been talking about intense stuff. One fear is that the church will become, if the government takes it over, the government mucks up everything it touches. And would you say that there's any danger that if the government and church are one and the same, or that there's an established church, would you say there's any danger that the church will be like the DMV?
Yes. Yeah, who wants to worship in a service run by the DMV? Not me. No. So not me.
No.
So thank you. This is a great question. There's a distinction between theocracy, which every society is. What's the god of the system?
Mammon.
Okay.
Well, right now.
Mammon or Allah. In certain societies, Allah is the god of the system. In ours, it's Mammon. It used to be the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ.
And so we have a lot of evangelicals who do believe that the U.S. should be distinctively Christian, but about 20% actually reject or resist that ideology. So in this sense, what we're really looking at across religious traditions, again, is this desire to see Christianity privileged above other religious groups and making sure that it has access to power within the government and at all levels.
What we want is what the founders envisioned and what for 2 centuries plus made us the greatest nation in the world, and that's a representative constitutional republic, a principled republic based on belief in natural law, the moral awareness that is written on the heart of all people, but it's also written in the 10 Commandments. In Exodus chapter 20.
Can you talk about the dark side of Christian nationalism for people who are perhaps unaware of the sort of nefarious ramifications of this kind of ideology?
I mean, it's very much about telling people how to live.
Second only to Israel under King Solomon. But our nation is worth fighting for. Our nation is worth loving and caring about. And I proudly own the term Christian nationalist. The left can call me that all they want, because I am a Christian and I love the United States of America. And bad news, wokies, millions and millions of others love America too. And we're going to do what we can to be stewards of this blessed nation.
And the second question I'm going to ask now is, what exactly do they want? What do they want? How do they see things in the Word of God? Now, I want you to take a listen to what some of these people are saying.
Theocracy. It isn't a word you often hear in American politics these days, but given the religious rhetoric coming from some Republican candidates this year, it doesn't feel as far-fetched or hyperbolic as it would have been in the past. Frankly, it feels possible. There are candidates embracing the idea that whatever the First Amendment actually says about the free exercise or establishment of religion, that this wall between church and state should actually come down. And not only that, these folks argue the wall was actually never supposed to be there in the first place. In fact, here's Lauren Boebert. She's a freshman member of Congress from Colorado. She was speaking this summer to congregants. Here's what she said.
The church is supposed to direct the government. The government is not supposed to direct the church. That is not how our founding fathers intended it. And I'm tired of this separation of church and state junk.
She's not alone. The Republican candidate for governor in Pennsylvania, the nation's 5th most populous state, said this to his supporters.
So much for this myth of separation of church and state.
That's right. And that's the same position that Michael Peroutka, the Republican nominee for Maryland Attorney General, it's a position he's taken since at least 2014 when he called the separation of church and state, quote, the great lie. And he added, there can be no separation of God from government because he, capital H there, created it. That would have been news to the founders, especially Thomas Jefferson, who was the first of the founders to use the phrase, the wall of separation metaphor, to describe the First Amendment's religious freedom protections. Other Republicans, though, are openly embracing Christian nationalism.
We need to be the party of nationalism, and I'm a Christian and I say it proudly. We should be Christian nationalists.
In recent years, he's attracted widespread attention online, amassing over 2 million followers on Facebook for his highly controversial political beliefs.
The Associated Press said that Joe Biden is president. Ha!
He is one of many fundamentalist pastors generating large social media followings by preaching politics from the pulpit.
But we shouldn't talk politics and religion. Says who, Satan?
American leftists always seem to need a boogeyman. When they're not demonizing MAGA Republicans, they're demonizing Christian nationalists. So what is a Christian nationalist?
We're a think tank. We have a policy bent towards us. We have goals that are 1 year, 5 year, 25, 50-year aims. And I would put Christian nationalism and really the desire for Christian nationalism in that bucket.
Vote says it's about preserving a Judeo-Christian heritage through sound public policy decisions.
I do believe in that America has been, should be, and I hope it to be someday a Christian nation that affords religious liberty to everyone.
We're going to go over to Joe Rogan now to hear the next segment that I want to speak about. What we're about to hear is, I don't think we realize how massive and how decisive and how determined some of the people in the Christian nationalism groups are, and how much they're looking to drive these elements into government. Coming from the Joe Rogan podcast, where we had the state representative from Texas is speaking about how the Christian nationalists and some of the rich men in some of the movement and how much influence they have in political circles in ways that we don't even realize. And I think many Christians, including Seventh-day Adventists, are not paying enough attention to this group to realize how determined and decisive and how purpose-driven they are when it comes to obtaining their goals. Listen.
Let's talk about the two billionaires that I think basically control state government here in Texas. And I don't know if you or even your listeners necessarily know about them. It's two billionaires from West Texas. Their names are Tim Dunn and Ferris Wilks, Dunn and Wilks. But they made their money in oil and gas, but they are also Christian nationalist pastors.
Oh.
Which, billionaire pastor, you would think that's an oxymoron, but on Sunday mornings, these two billionaires, they preach at these far-right churches, and they've got very extreme views. They don't think anybody who's not a Christian should serve an elected office.
Whoa.
In fact, you can look this up. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. But they told the former Republican Speaker of the Texas House, a guy named Joe Strauss from San Antonio, that he didn't have a right to be Speaker because he's Jewish, and that's a Republican. So they are dominionists. They're Christian nationalists. This is the world that they have. But they basically, every single Republican state senator in Texas has taken their money. Every single one. A majority of the Republicans in the state house have taken their money. And for some of those lawmakers, a majority of their total campaign contributions come from just these two guys. Like they increasingly run this whole government here in Texas. And you ask where the Ten Commandments bill comes from. You ask where that school counselor chaplain bill comes from, the voucher bill, the abortion ban. A lot of this is driven by these two billionaires.
That's wild.
And they give to politicians, but it's actually much bigger than that because they have this sprawling network of think tanks, advocacy organizations, media outlets, the Daily Wire, right, funded by them. So like they are creating an empire to control every aspect of the state. I mean, I don't mean to sound alarmist, but that's what's happening. And again, your listeners should do their own research on this to learn about it. But there's been a lot of stories about these two billionaires and their control over state government.
There's so much more in this video that I would like to share with you, but I'm going to link it in the description below. I cannot give you too much. There's going to be a link in the description below. You need to listen to this. And the reason I want you to listen to this, if you can listen to it tonight, even better, or you may be watching this video another time, and that's fine as well. We have a Christian nationalist coming to our YouTube channel. His name is Lennox Califongua. And we are speaking to him from the time of this video next day, which will be at 11 a.m. We have a few people that's going to be with us. We're going to talk to him and question him from some of his position and see what exactly they're trying to drive. Friends, wait till you hear this conversation. And I really hope it will be a blessing to you as well. Thank you so much for listening. Go listen to Amazing Prophecies YouTube videos on this one. I'm not going to say too much. I'm just promoting this documentary because I think you need to see, you need to hear, and you need to be able to understand the conversation so that you can share what is being said, so you can take a stand for truth. Listen, prophecies are being fulfilled. The players are playing their role. We are told prophetically in the great controversy, some of these people are not bad people. They really believe they're doing something good, but nevertheless, they are forming the image of the beast. And that's going to set the stage for the mark of the beast and the enthronement of the system of the beast, which is the papacy. Although they may not realize that, although they may not be doing this with this kind of intention, but this is where we are going prophetically. Friends, I could say so much more, but I think you need to go check this out for yourself. Look out for our live stream the next day with Lennox Califongua, where we're going to be doing some questioning back and forth, dialogue, and explaining some things with him as well. Anyway, I just want to hear your thought. This one, my position is like and subscribe to the page, click the bell icon for more, share your thought and perspective with me. I want to hear from you in a comment below. Let's have the conversation. Until next time, have a good one. Bye.